Jack, police! Stay where you are! Stay where you are, police! Madam, is your phone missing? Have you got phone? Oh, no, stay there, police.
Assets driving around trying to help over.
Stop! Face away from me! Go. Oh, please! Get the car! Get the car! Get the car! Get the car! Stop!
A busy street in central London, a security camera shakes as a Surrey electric scooter zooms by and two hooded figures snatch a phone from a woman's hand. In 3.2 seconds, the phone is gone. Sirens blare, the footage cuts to body cameras of armed police, heavy breathing, the roar of engines as officers race down the crowded traffic. One robber swerves, narrowly missing a pedestrian, then crashes into a car. The other flees, weaving through narrow gaps before slamming into a red letterbox. Both are restrained, handcuffed, their pockets full of phones that belong to complete strangers. But this is more than just a daring snatch. Behind the noise and drama of the moment lies a chilling story. These devices will, in the next 48 hours, be smuggled across borders, disappearing into markets thousands of miles away, or being dismantled into their components and sold on the black market. Why do these incidents happen every day in London? Who is behind them? And why, despite technology that could stop them, do they continue to operate so openly? In the next few minutes, you will see how a multi-million-pound network operates right before your eyes, without you even realizing it. So if you lost your phone tomorrow, would you know where it would go and what would happen to it? According to official data from the British Parliament, London alone recorded more than 65,600 phone thefts in 2024, an average of one phone disappearing every 6 minutes. These are not sporadic snatchings, but the result of criminal networks operating like production lines. Police reports and international news agencies show that 75% of stolen phones leave the UK in less than 48 hours, with most of them going to North Africa and Asia via smuggling routes that have been in place for decades. A Metropolitan Police officer once compared that a kilo of cocaine brings in around $40,000 in profits, but a phone theft network can make the same amount, with much lighter sentences and much lower legal risks. It is this disparity that has led criminal gangs to massively shift gears, seeing phones as the new gold mine. In response, the authorities have launched a series of large-scale raids involving special forces, undercover police, and air support. In one typical operation, more than 1,000 devices were recovered and 230 suspects were arrested in a short time. Footage from the recording devices shows officers closing in quickly through crowds, while other groups set up strategic roadblocks on several streets. In the sky, helicopters monitor every movement, ensuring that all escape routes are blocked. These operations show the scale and intensity of the fight against phone theft in London, a battle that is fought not only on the streets but also in the shadows of cross-border smuggling rings, where each stolen phone is a link in a global criminal network. One evening in the West End, the yellow light of the streetlights reflected off the rain-soaked pavement. The man stood on the curb, phone in hand, engrossed in texting, unaware that a figure was approaching from behind him on a tram. In an instant, a strange hand snatched the device from his grasp and disappeared into the traffic and noise of the city. 4 minutes later, somewhere, the phone screen lit up under the thief's grasp. Security was bypassed, banking apps were opened, accounts were searched. 17 minutes later, all of his savings, more than $12,000, had been withdrawn, disappearing into untraceable accounts. The story unfolded coldly on the screen, like a digital diary. 1932, phone lost. 1936, bank accessed. 1949, balance zero. No text message could reach him, no phone call could stop it. And it was not an isolated incident. According to data from HelpNet Security, victims lost an average of more than $8,500 in less than 20 minutes. That's too short a time to realize what was happening, but long enough for experienced criminals to turn personal details and hard-earned money into clean profits for the network. Stories like this are repeated every day, lurking in every corner of the city, turning the phone, everyone's inseparable possession, into the key to their entire digital lives and a door that criminals can smash open at a moment's notice. The system operates like a meticulously calculated production line where each link has its own role and works in harmony to maximize profits and minimize risks. At the first level are the actual perpetrators, often e-bikers or surrons, who know every street and shortcut by heart. They move in pairs or small groups dressed in hoods, gloves and masks, blending into the crowd like harmless passers-by. Once they have chosen a target, they approach from behind or the side, taking advantage of the moment when the victim is distracted, talking on the phone, texting, or looking at a map, and suddenly snatching the device in less than 3 seconds. No threats, no loud noises, just a decisive movement and disappearing into the rushing traffic, leaving the victim stunned and unable to comprehend what has happened. As soon as the phone leaves the owner's hand, the second level springs into action. These are the handlers, the key link that determines the final value of the goods. The phones are shipped to discrete transit points, sometimes as little as a suburban apartment. There, the devices are wrapped in foil or placed in Faraday bags to block all locator signals and remote locking commands. Once the connection is cut off, they get to work, bypassing PIN codes, exploiting biometric authentication loopholes, accessing banking apps and e-wallets, and withdrawing money in the shortest possible time. They also wipe data, change the IMEI, or install new software, turning a stolen phone into a clean product ready for resale without leaving a trace. Once this is done, the third layer, the transporters, take over and move the goods across the border. The phones are carefully packaged in legitimate packages and sent through ports, airports, or by road, following well-established smuggling routes. Most find their way to North Africa, particularly Algeria, where they sell for double the London black market price. The rest go to Hong Kong, where they are disassembled into components, each of which continues its journey on the black market. In one case, a police body camera captured 2 robbers speeding down the street, running red lights, weaving through traffic before colliding and being subdued with a series of phones, some still displaying unread messages. Those phones were fortunately returned to their owners, but hundreds more continue every week, operating quietly and discreetly, in keeping with the 3-tier structure of a never-ending crime machine. From the bustling streets of London, a stolen phone's journey quickly crosses borders, across seas and thousands of miles away. Most devices follow a familiar route, leaving the UK via seaports or airports, landing in North Africa, most notably Algeria. There they are openly sold in bustling markets, mixed in with legitimate goods, but fetching double the price of London's black market. A phone that once belonged to you, holding your photos, messages and contacts, becomes a lucrative bargain for a complete stranger, changing hands in a matter of days. About 20% of phones do not take this route, but head straight to Hong Kong, a major Asian electronics manufacturing and trading hub. Here, they are disassembled into individual parts, screens, cameras, processors, batteries. Each component becomes a separate product that is sold across different markets, leaving no trace that can be traced back to its original source. This is a ruthless way to optimize profits when a stolen device can bring many times more value than if sold as a whole. It is worth noting that these routes are not new. They have been used to transport drugs, smuggled cigarettes, and counterfeit goods for decades. Criminal networks simply change the item from white powder and tablets to high-tech devices. The smuggling infrastructure, from couriers, collection points, relationships with transport and customs officials, is already in place, and now it is just a matter of exploiting it to turn phones into a new type of commodity. The result is an elaborate global system where items snatched from a London street corner one morning might be on a counter in a foreign market 2 days later, or broken into dozens of tiny components scattered in all directions. As police and communities struggle to curb the tide of phone theft, a different debate is brewing in the UK Parliament, with the focus on the tech giants. Many MPs believe that Apple and Google could implement a permanent kill switch, a mechanism that permanently disables a stolen phone, rendering it instantly worthless, unusable, and unable to be disassembled and resold. The technology, they say, is not far-fetched. The prototypes exist, the principles are clear, and implementation is just a matter of will. But critics say the companies are reluctant to implement it for one simple reason: profit. Every phone that is stolen and not recovered means a customer who has to buy a new one. That, when multiplied globally, creates a replacement market worth billions of pounds a year. This means, the allegations say, that the indirect beneficiaries of the crime are not just the Surron drivers on the street, but also the companies at the cutting edge of the tech industry. Analysts point out that as long as stolen devices can still function or be disassembled for spare parts, they have value on the black market. And that value is what keeps criminal networks going, despite all efforts to crack down on them. The harsh reality is that if manufacturers decided to close the door, most phone theft would collapse in a matter of months. But when questions are asked in congressional hearings, the answers are often meandering, talking about user experience or technical difficulties rather than committing to action. While these debates rage on, the phones that are snatched every day continue their journey, not just through the hands of thieves, handlers, and carriers, but also through a gap in accountability where technology could have put an end to the problem. To combat this wave of crime, authorities have launched large-scale operations such as Operation Opal, mobilizing undercover police, rapid response teams, non-support units, and working closely with international law enforcement agencies. The goal is not only to capture the perpetrators, but also to hit the intermediary links and cross-border transport networks. In one typical raid, at dawn, a suburban apartment door was broken open amid frantic chants of suppression. Figures rushed in, restraining the suspect on his bed, while other officers searched every room, every drawer. The result was hundreds of phones found, stacked in piles, many still containing messages and personal photos of their previous owners. Footage from police body cameras clearly shows the tense pace of the operation. Each step forward, each flashlight beam sweeping through the darkness, each phone sealed as evidence. Yet, even after the operation ended with impressive arrests, one experienced officer frankly admitted, "Cut off one end, two new ones grow." Because this network is not a fixed group but a loose structure, easily regenerating when one link is removed. New members quickly replace the old ones, and methods of operation are adjusted to avoid the crackdown. The war thus becomes a never-ending cycle, where each police victory is only a brief lull before the next wave of crime hits.
Stay safe briefing. There's lots of unarmed assets driving around trying to help over.
Yes, it was, sir. Keep your hands. Stop. Turn around and face away from me. Come back, right? Stop! Face away from me! Could have killed us! Could have killed a member of the public! And you're out here robbing people! Oh, shut up! Well, it is probably in pain because you've crashed your bike.
Stand by, come off.
What began as a seemingly isolated case of phone snatching on the street unfolds into a complex picture of global crime, where each stolen device is the starting point of a journey that crosses borders, passes through multiple hands, and ends up in black markets thousands of miles from London. It's not just a physical loss, it's a psychological trauma, an invasion of privacy as personal data, memories, and financial information fall into the wrong hands. We live in an age where our phones are not just our communications tools, but our wallets, our keys, our photo albums, and even our digital identities. Losing them is more than just a physical item. So vigilance is the first line of defense. Don't use your phone in public where you can't see it. Enable the strongest security features and store important data securely. At the same time, the power of the community can make a difference, sharing stories, spreading the word, and pressuring tech manufacturers to implement stronger protections. This fight can't be left to the police alone. It requires the involvement of every individual. And remember, the phone you're holding could be your next target. It only takes seconds for them to strike, but it's up to you to decide whether they succeed. If you want to continue exploring the untold secrets of the world of cybercrime, don't forget to come back for more episodes of UK Crime, which are special, dramatic, and entertaining. Thanks.